Cheetah Girls, there's so many secrets to that movie that no one will ever know.
And at that time, Solange Knowles was hired for Aqua.
But I had never worked with an all-girl cast before. I love you, Adrian. I love you so much.
We can do anything, everything we wanna. Finally, we get the chance.
If it wasn't for her, y'all would have had to bail me out of jail in Barcelona. But we're not gonna talk about it. Okay.
Before we dive into today's video, I want to take a moment to thank Babbel for sponsoring this episode of Deep Dive. I grew up hearing the Portuguese language my entire life, but never learned to properly speak it. So to make my avó proud, I have spent over a year working hard to get to a conversational level, mas é muito difícil. Needless to say, I need a lot of practice, especially with all the grammatical rules. That's where Babbel comes in. Babbel is one of the top language learning apps in the world. I use the Babbel app every day for 15 minutes, and what I love so much is that Babbel teaches real-world conversations. The lessons prepare you to have practical conversations instead of filling your brain up with a bunch of vocabulary that you'll probably never use. What's even better is they offer live classes to apply and practice what you're learning. You will even get 2 free classes with your subscription. The lessons are simple, bite-sized, and with just 15 minutes a day, you will be on your way to speaking a new language confidently.
500. 600.
So be sure to click the link in the description box to get 60% off your subscription. And let me know down in the comments what language you would like to learn. Obrigada, Babbel, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to the wild world of the Cheetah Girls. Hi, I'm Shelby.
And I'm Jake. Welcome to Deep Dive, where we dive into told and untold stories and tell them like you've never seen them before. If it happened, it's probably in a deep dive. Today, me and Shelby are diving into the most successful musical act to ever grace the Disney Channel screen, the Cheetah Girls. What started as a tumultuous girl group that made a major splash in the R&B world would be completely transformed into an all-out supergroup that would not only change the world of children's television, but would successfully dominate the coveted mainstream pop music charts. The Cheetah Girls would start a true Disney renaissance that would suddenly find characters on every show, pop star or not, dancing and singing their hearts out. The Cheetah Girls would produce the most successful project Hollywood Records and the Disney Channel would ever see, even to this day. But at one hefty cost. The Cheetah Girls may have stood for sisterly love, girl power, and togetherness, but they were anything but together. Behind the scenes, trouble was brewing. Explicit photos would be leaked, and multiple fights would break out. The Cheetah Girls would all be forced to take sides, all leading up to a major, nearly physical altercation in Barcelona that neither Keely, Sabrina, Adrian, nor Raven were ever expecting. Having to complete a final movie completely removing the star of the show, Galleria, altogether. This was a result of the tumultuous breakup and destruction of Raven Simone's relationship with the Disney Channel that would not only send her original show to the chopping block, but the most successful girl group Disney had ever seen to the dust, to remain as just a memory. The Cheetah Girls were so at each other's throats during the touring and filming of the movies that many of their fights and indiscretions still run deep to this very day. And that's only the half of it. So join me and Shelby as we take a deep dive into the dramatic, dazzling, and often shocking world of Disney Channel's own The Cheetah Girls. The very late 90s and early 2000s were the golden era for Disney Channel original movies, which I'm going to refer to for the rest of this video as DCOMs. Almost every single month, kids around the globe gathered around their TVs to watch some of the most iconic DCOMs ever made. From early nostalgic DCOMs from the 90s like Smart House to Xenon Girl of the 21st Century, Disney Channel had the American youth from the years 1997 to the mid-2010s completely hooked. Movies like Johnny Tsunami and Cadet Kelly still hold up today and are nostalgic for millions of people. However, in 2002, the Disney Channel set out to make a new original movie based off a tween book series centered around a girl group called the Cheetah Girls. Now, the original Cheetah Girls books would be based on one of the best-selling and prolific female singing troupes of all time, Destiny's Child, which featured the greatest singer of our generation, Beyonce Giselle Knowles-Carter. The books would closely follow the group, the Cheetah Girls, as they continually tried to make it as a major girl group, and Disney Channel would see this storyline and want to produce it into one of their Disney Channel original movies. Now, the Cheetah Girls would be the first musical movie Disney Channel had ever embarked on, so they needed to enlist incredible producers to take this movie to the next level. The legendary Whitney Houston was brought on as a producer, as well as Deborah Martin Chase, who produced the iconic 1997 Cinderella and The Princess Diaries. Needless to say, with this star-studded production team, the Cheetah Girls would be set up for success no matter who they found to play the part of the actual Cheetah Girls. However, Disney's casting process was so rigorous, no matter who they found, this would be a girl group unlike the world had ever seen. Now, Raven-Symoné was already shaping up to be an absolute icon and figurehead of the Disney Channel. She had already been in the DCOM Xenon, was Monique in Kim Possible, and had just scored the lead role in a new Disney Channel show aptly titled Absolutely Psychic, which we all know today as That's So Raven. Needless to say, she was a shoo-in for the role of Galleria in the Cheetah Girls, and would actually be vital to their success. Not only for her built-in audience with That's So Raven, but for her face that was now familiar to children across the globe. The next Cheetah Girl would be none other than Solange Knowles, now a successful R&B singer, then simply known as Beyonce from Destiny's Child's younger sister. Solange already had a history with Disney Channel, as she sang the theme song for the Proud Family alongside Destiny's Child.
They called us for the Proud Family theme song, along with Beyonce's sister Solange.
Give me Solange and Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child loves the Disney Channel. It's really cool. It's a great channel for kids. We saw a preview of the cartoon and we can't wait till it comes out.
With this musical debut, her management and labels were on the hunt for which direction to take Solange's music career. With her debut album set to come out in 2003, Solange Knowles was the perfect rising star to be cast for the role of Aqua. Now, the casting process to find the other two Cheetah Girls was extremely difficult, as executives were looking for true triple threats. Thousands of talented young women would filter through the Disney Channel audition room, but one girl named Adrienne Bailon really stood out, despite her audition not being so perfect.
The first time I ever went on an audition was actually for a movie, and I had to go in with this, you know, I didn't grow up like as a childhood star. Like the first time I acted, maybe I was 17, 18. I didn't have a headshot, although I was in 3LW. I didn't have a proper headshot, had never really read a script before. So they gave me these sides, which is what they call the script that you go in and you read. And I go into the audition and I had to do an emotional scene, and it was something like this. Girl, you have a great heart, and you are who you are because of what's in your heart. Hugs her and pulls her close. I read the directions! I love Deborah Martin Chase, shout out to you, the executive producer of that movie. She brought me outside and she was like, can I talk to you? I had to sing for it too, so I had already sang my part. Took me outside and she was like, girl, you don't read the directions. Go back in there and do it one more time. She gave me a second chance. Huge mistake. It was for the Cheetah Girls. I got the role. It was that raw, that moment that they really saw who I was, and they were like, girl, you are our Choo-Chee. You get the part.
Now, this was not Adrienne's first rodeo when it came to girl groups. She had been a part of the massively successful group called 3LW.
3, 2, 1. I'm Adrienne. I'm Keely. And I'm Missouri. And we're 3LW.
At the height of 3LW's fame and success, the group disbanded, and almost immediately after, Adrienne would be cast as the third Cheetah Girl, Chanel. Now, we could do a whole video on the rise and very tumultuous fall of 3LW, so let us know if that's something y'all would be interested in, because it is a lot.
They were doing the Disney Channel original movies. They were releasing one every month. It was like the DCOM of the month. So there were a lot of opportunities to break into the Disney Channel world as an actress or actor at the time. And I was really excited. And I'd been on several auditions for different movies. I don't know if you knew the Johnny Tsunami. Like I was kind of the goal. What a lot of times happened is you would see someone on a DCOM movie, and then that opened the opportunity to be a part of one of their shows. Like you meet the casting director and the directors and the producers that like make it kind of all work together within the channel. And so it would create a lot of opportunity for you to be able to jump into that. And so that was always kind of the goal is, you know, you want to get on a movie because hopefully you'll get on a TV show at that point. And so when this opportunity for Cheetah Girls, it felt so different than anything else. I was going to be singing, I was going to be able to display my dancing, you know, and just so much. It was like everything that I trained for was all in one opportunity. So it was just really exciting to get that script and those sides for the audition. And we were the first movie or anything on the channel that had music involved in it and dancing, and so they'd never done that before. And I think once they saw that like the audience really responded to it very well, they were like, oh, what else can we do? And they bring in the Jonas Brothers, and they obviously had Hannah Montana was already like on the bill of like what they were going to be going into. And also that like so many of their actors that they had on board have been trained in dancing and singing, and that was part of, you know, being a triple threat. It was part of what you knew to do. First audition that I got, I received all 4 scripts. They had sent me scripts to audition for Galleria's part, Chanel's part, and Aqua's part. And I can't remember if Aqua at the time was going to be a twin or not, if like her twin sister was going to be in the show or not, but they definitely sent scripts for all the characters, and you had to have all of them memorized and prepared for your audition. So when you went in, like I read Galleria's sides, I read Chanel's sides, I read Aqua's sides, and Dorinda's. They wanted to see what kind of mix of people they were going to be putting in and who was best suited for what role. And then my third callback, they had narrowed it down. They had casted all the roles, and Dorinda was like the last role that they hadn't casted yet, and they didn't know who they were looking for. They were looking for all ethnicities. That we were in a room like going, wow, you can tell they do not have a specific like look that they're wanting to finish this out. They're wanting to see.
I went to like 5 or 6 callbacks before I got put on hold, and then they had me on hold for maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
They brought us in with Adrian and with Raven, and at that time Solange Knowles was hired for Aqua, and so the 3 of them were in a room, and they just kept bringing us in to like do our sides and work with them and see like what kind of chemistry and everything happened. And so that's when we were like, okay, they're getting down to the wire. They're really trying to finish up this girl group look. And when you go there and you know they're asking for so much, you know that Disney's putting a lot on the line for this project, and they're really wanting to get it right.
And I was just dying, wondering if I got this job or not. And then finally I did. And we actually came here in 2002 to shoot the first movie.
So it was exciting, and I was beyond thrilled that I was the one that got to book and play Dorinda.
Now, with Sabrina Bryan coming on to play the part of Dorinda, the Cheetah Girls were finally ready to get to work, or so they thought. Right before they were set to begin filming, Solange's record label decided to speed up the release of her debut album, Solo Star, to December of 2002, which was right smack dab in the middle of the filming for the Cheetah Girls. So unfortunately, Solange had no choice but to back out of the movie entirely and disappear as the role of Aqua forever. Disney was now in need of a new Aqua. Luckily for them, Adrienne was still a besties with her former 3LW groupmate, Keely Williams, and she was the perfect fit to play Aqua. They immediately got to work filming the Cheetah Girls, working on the iconic choreography, and hit the studio where they recorded a total of 8 songs.
I really wanted to do the Cheetah Girls because I get to do 2 things that I love to do. I love to sing and I love to act.
We have so much like spunk, we're really ready to go. And I think that's what the best part about being a Cheetah Girl is. Cheetah! A Cheetah Girl is a girl that cares about her friends, has big dreams, and isn't gonna let anything stop her from getting them.
Along with that was that the Cheetah Girl songs are extremely girl power.
3 weeks before we started shooting, we were in a studio here in LA, learning the choreography.
Okay, let's do that again just for blocking and who's going with.
We had a boot camp of training and dancing every single day.
In, out. Good, very nice, girls.
Cheetah!
was really cool. It was a bonding experience for us 4 girls, and I think we actually became friends before we got in the movie.
The song and dancing to this movie is very important because this is what the Cheetah Girls are. We're a group. We had to come into the studio probably 3 or 4 days before we went to Toronto, Canada to shoot the film, and we had to lay down just some rough tracks.
One of the biggest things I think we want to convey in the songs that are in the movie is our energy. All the songs have a whole lot of energy.
When we went up to Canada to shoot the film, the people in Canada thought that we had been friends forever. We would get in our huddle and just talk. Action, get ready to do what we have to do. Cut, talk.
Everything just came alive. It was amazing that with our costumes and the lighting and being on the set, we got to just come alive and become the Cheetah Girls.
Cheetah! According to Sabrina, Disney executives had to actually be convinced by producer Deborah to release the songs on a soundtrack along with the movie at all. Releasing a soundtrack alongside a DCOM was a first for the Disney Channel. The Cheetah Girls proved that doing so could be wildly successful and lucrative. The Cheetah Girls soundtrack was released on August 12th, 2003, just 3 days before the movie premiere, and it very quickly broke into mainstream music. The album soared to the #1 spot on the Kids Billboard charts, and even hit number 33 on the regular Billboard Hot 200. This was a first for Hollywood records. The Cheetah Girls soundtrack went double platinum as it sold over 2 million copies. To this very day, it is still one of the best-selling albums to ever come out of the Disney Channel record label. But this was only half of the story. See, the movie was only then, on August 15th, put out into the world.
They were just trying to win their school talent show. Then,
Jacqueline Johnson?
their whole world changed.
I'm looking for the next big thing, and I think that thing might just have spots. Here's my checklist. Number 1, record a bump and demo. Number 2, make millions.
Our engineering department wants to create whole new identities.
I'm sorry, we don't lip sync.
Don't worry, we'll teach you.
Their dreams meant everything to them.
We can't change the Cheetah Girls.
And with the movie, kids instantly fell in love with the characters Dorinda, Aqua, Chanel, and Galleria as they danced across their screens to songs they'd never heard in their life, but would become instant classics. The Cheetah Girls movie would show what the Cheetah Girls were all about: perseverance, diversity, and togetherness. A group like this had never been marketed by the Disney Channel and was by far the most diverse cast they had ever seen. This meant the Cheetah Girls hit demographics the Disney Channel at that point never even attempted to tap into, and honestly caused a Cheetah Girls frenzy.
Hey, we're the Cheetah Girls! Chilling here. That's right, recording. You know, we're here with Jacqueline Johnson.
This franchise would follow the Disney Channel formula to a T, which is to create a scenario in which stardom in some way changes someone's entire life, obviously for the better, showing off newly manicured lifestyles and what kids could truly have if they get cast on something as aspirational and coveted as the Disney Channel. This would create a casting craze for children across America, as Disney's best advertisements were their shows and movies. Ask literally anyone who was a kid during that time what they wanted to do, and it was be an actor on the Disney Channel. However, the Cheetah Girls were a little bit different. This time, Disney was producing a musical group and film franchise.
I did not think the Cheetah Girls was gonna be a hit. Really? Not only did I not think that it was gonna like blow up the way it did.
The Cheetah Girls were no longer an ordinary run-of-the-mill DCOM. They were now an entire franchise. And Disney definitely saw the dollar signs. The merchandising quickly hit the production line. There were Cheetah Girls clothes, bedding, toothbrushes, video games, dolls, interactive music toys, costumes, new books. Y'all, the list just keeps going on and on. There were major plans in the works as well for the Cheetah Girls to actually go beyond the Disney Channel. But there was one major problem. One girl who was pulling a majority of the viewers and public interest, but was also only in the movie franchises and is not featured fully in the group: Disney Channel legend and fellow Cheetah sister, Raven Simone.
That's So Raven began airing in January 2003, 6 months before the release of The Cheetah Girls.
Now, can you imagine seeing things before they happen? Well, that is the situation of which your brother's rapping. Now, Ravenbacks has got that power, and you're gonna find that no one in the future can bring trouble to the mind. Now, the star of the show is Raven, as you might have guessed. We're taking the comedy level to the extreme. With visions so clear, they seem like straight dreams. Disney Channel, start craving and holla back, y'all. Cause that's so Raven.
Disney Channel's brand new original comedy series coming in January. Yeah, only on Disney Channel.
Raven's new show catapulted in popularity, beating Lizzie McGuire's record for the highest rated original TV show in Disney Channel history.
What did the baker say to the test tube?
You're getting an F.
We had the time of our lives that first season, and then the time of our career until the end of that show. We had so many personal goals met, so many career goals met, friendships that will last forever. I was the first Black female to have a show named after her on television. Youngest on television.
According to MTV News, Adrian and Keely signed on with the ABC network to do a Cheetah Girls TV show that would be produced by Deborah Martin Chase for the 2004-2005 season. The show seemed to be more centered around 3LW as the group was getting back together with a new member, Jessica Benson, who was also potentially going to have a role in this Cheetah Girls sitcom. In an interview, Adrian even said there were talks of a spin-off reality show which would follow the new 3LW trio as they recorded their next album. MTV reported that both Sabrina and Raven would reprise their roles in the new sitcom, which was set to shoot in Toronto. Keely even told Teen People at their Artist of the Year party that they are starting filming for the show in April of 2004. It's also rumored that there's a fully shot pilot for the show hidden somewhere in ABC's storage room, but according to Sabrina and Keely, the show never got that far. Now, all of these opportunities that the Cheetah Girls were getting would put a then 18-year-old Raven Simone in an incredibly difficult position where she would be faced with choices that could change the trajectory of her own career. Now remember, no one expected the Cheetah Girls to turn into a real musical group that would hit the very real Billboard charts. At the time, Raven thought she was filming another DCOM, and when it wrapped, her time and energy would be put into That's So Raven. It is reported that Raven wanted to focus on her own show, the one that was literally making TV history, instead of taking on another huge role on another sitcom. Because of this, the Cheetah Girls TV show would never come to fruition, which marks the beginning of Adrian, Keely, and Sabrina being at odds with Raven. After this, the Cheetah Girls would fizzle out for almost 2 years. Raven would go on to create hit season after hit season of That's So Raven, and 3LW would spend this time working on their third studio album titled The Point of No Return, which was ultimately shelved. However, in 2005, Disney was ready to experiment with the Cheetah Girls again and try something that they haven't done before. To test the waters, they asked the girls to get into the studio to make the Cheetah-licious Christmas album.
Hey, I'm Sabrina. I'm Keely. And I'm Adrian. Happy holidays from the Cheetah Girls.
It's a Cheetah-licious Christmas, and we caught up with the Cheetah Girls as they shot their new music video and shared their thoughts on the holidays.
Cheetah-licious Christmas.
Raven was noticeably missing from the album cover and promotion for the Cheetah-licious Christmas tour. In an interview with the San Diego Tribune, Raven said, quote, "I came to the Cheetah Girls as an actress who happens to sing. It was a character. I want to keep my identity. It's totally different. I don't want to confuse people."
Hey, Cheetah. Hey, Victoria. So tell us about the tour. It's a holiday tour. We're so excited about it. Allie and Adrian are opening up for us. If you see the Cheetah bus in your neighborhood, you know we are around.
Adrian, Keely, and Sabrina would hit the road traveling the United States for their Christmas tour. Since this was the first tour Disney Channel had ever put together, it was just 16 shows long. And they used the tour to test out a few new Disney musical stars such as Allie and AJ and the Jonas Brothers. The Cheetah-licious Christmas tour was a smash hit, selling out tickets at every venue they visited. At the very end of the tour, the girls got some exciting news. Disney executives let them know that they finally got the green light to do a second installment of the Cheetah Girls movie. Fast forward to 2006, 2006, and Disney Channel was going all in on musicals. High School Musical premiered in January to 7.7 million viewers. Shortly after, in March, Hannah Montana premiered to 5.4 million viewers. So the pressure was definitely on the Cheetah Girls to make another massively successful movie. After almost 3 long years, the Cheetah Girls were finally back together as Raven came back to continue her role as Galleria. The girls were swiftly flown out to Barcelona, Spain, where they would spend several months together filming.
The Cheetah Girls are back, and this time they're making a musical in Spain.
Me and the girls always have a lot of fun when we're together. There's so much energy in the room, we're basically bouncing off the walls. Working with everyone is definitely really cool.
However, there was a lot of tension on set. Behind the scenes, it wasn't exactly the girl power we all know the Cheetah Girls for. A lot had changed since the filming of the first movie. Adrian, Keely, and Sabrina grew super close to one another. They were together day in and day out, touring, recording albums, doing one-off Disney performances and promotions. Raven hadn't really been a part of the Cheetah Girls picture in a few years, and maybe there was some resentment towards Raven for previous lost opportunities. To add fuel to the fire, Raven was brought on as a director for the second movie, so she was technically Keely, Sabrina, and Adrian's boss. That dynamic shift could also be a reason for why there was some animosity on set. But when those cameras turned on, they were able to put everything aside to create one of the most successful Disney Channel original movies ever. The Cheetah Girls 2 premiered on August 25th, 2006 to 8.1 million viewers.
Is everybody excited to see the Cheetah Girls?
Well, Keely, Sabrina, Adrian, and Raven are gonna be here any minute.
I say we're looking very Cheetah-licious. And this place is jam-packed with Disney Channel stars. What's that? Oh my gosh, Corbin, they're already here. Corbin, I just received word that our guests of honor are pulling up to the Cheetah carpet.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cheetah Girls have arrived.
Beating out High School Musical and again becoming the highest rated DCOM premiere. But the success didn't stop there. The Cheetah Girls 2 soundtrack went right to the number 5 spot on the Billboard Hot 200 and is certified platinum. The Cheetah Girls yet again were making Disney histories, so Disney decided to send them on a full-fledged concert tour called the Party's Just Begun Tour. This tour was massively successful, grossing $23.5 million. This tour was also used as the testing grounds for other Disney artists. Specifically, Hannah Montana, aka Miley Cyrus, was one of the major openers for the tour.
We broke the record for sales. We sold 72,000 tickets in 3 minutes.
Fans of the Cheetah Girls would again notice that Raven was missing from the 5-month-long tour. At first, Disney's public relations said it was because Raven is an actress who is in the movies, but not an official member of the musical group. But the real reason seems to be entirely different. Raven did open up a little bit about her experience filming the second movie. In an interview, she said, quote, "It was weird putting together young women, our ages 19 to 22, one of whom had not been in the mix," referring to herself and how she had not been a part of the Cheetah Girls recording or touring activities. She continued saying, quote, "I'll be honest, there were territorial issues. There were catfights. It was not all peaches and cream off camera."
We've known each other for a very long time.
A very long time.
That's why I can call you Mama.
Yes, you can. I love it.
She played my mother on the Cheetah Girls 1 and 2 and acted during one of these movies. And if it wasn't for her...
Barcelona.
Barcelona. If it wasn't for her, y'all would have had to bail me out of jail in Barcelona.
Stop it.
But we're not gonna talk about it. Okay.
We may never know what exactly went down in Barcelona, but it was bad enough for Raven to leave the Cheetah Girls franchise entirely. Since touring with just the main 3 Cheetah Girls had proven to be so successful, the Disney Channel decided to try a 3rd installment of the movie series. Despite losing a core member of the group, the new movie was set in India with a Bollywood theme. It was also supposed to be a little more adult, as the group were all now in their their mid-20s. The upcoming movie would even get some promotion on keeping up with the Kardashians. Adrienne Bailon and Rob Kardashian fell into a whirlwind of romance, and the show displayed the new couple as they struggled with Adrienne having to leave for India for 3 months during filming. And she low-key became an honorary Kardashian for a second, like she had multiple storylines.
So I'm dating Adrienne Bailon, and she is a Cheetah Girl. It started off as the first musical on the Disney Channel. They sing, dance, movies, clothes, video games, you name it.
The third Cheetah Girls movie. I'm stealing your sister and taking her with me to India.
Were you going to India to shoot the third movie? I've only been dating Adrienne for 3 months, and all of a sudden she is saying how she's going to India, and I'm just shocked.
It takes 3 months.
3 months is that's a long time.
Yeah.
I'm with you like every single day. I can't believe that this is happening. I spend every minute with her. When is your flight, and like, when are you taking off?
Like, should be heading now. Like, right on time.
No, stay. Don't go.
I love you. I'm gonna miss you. It's not that I think. I'm really gonna miss you.
I just dropped Adrienne off at the airport.
Aww. You should just come over and take your mind off of it.
I just want to go to my place and watch Cheetah Girl movies.
The Cheetah Girls One World premiered on August 12, 2008, to 6.2 million viewers. The movie didn't perform as well as the previous 2 movies, but well enough for Disney to plan another concert tour. During promotion for the One World movie and tour, the Cheetah Girls excitedly talked about a possible 4th movie and plans for the future, but those plans would all come crashing down in November of 2008. With just 1 month of the tour left, Adrienne's laptop was reportedly stolen while she was at JFK International Airport. She offered $1,000 for its return, as there was allegedly explicit imagery of Adrienne on the laptop. According to reports, Adrienne got the laptop back without exchanging any IDs or information with the alleged thief.
Oh, I was there at MTV the day because you lost your laptop, right?
Yes.
I was at MTV and you came in all off because it was at the airport or something?
Definitely crying, late because I actually was getting ready to do my meeting for Afternoons on MTV.
You lost your laptop?
Yes.
And then you leave your laptop where?
No, it actually got lost at JFK. Thank God somebody actually returned it to us.
But by then the pictures had been...
Honestly, we don't know. Honestly, we don't. I can't say that for sure. We really don't know. Like, I've spent a handful of money figuring the situation out.
Despite getting the laptop back, the explicit images still leaked online. How they were leaked and by who is still a mystery to this day. But one person has alleged that Adrienne was behind the leak all along. This is where the story takes a bizarre turn. See, according to Adrienne's ex-publicist, Jonathan Jackson, this entire scandal was all planned out. He said her Cheetah Girls tour was coming to an end. She was now 25 and wanted to be seen as more adult and to get out of the kid-focused Disney star-making machine. Adrienne was also getting ready to sign a record deal with Columbia Records to go solo, so she was in need of an image shift.
So I was like, I'm just getting grown and sexy. Y'all trying to have me play a Disney character. And at this time, then I was starting to date more, and I felt like guys are not, like, once I finished the film, I never wanted guys to watch it. Until this day, I don't want Israel to watch it.
Wait, why not? Wait,
oh,
I know what we're doing.
Because as fun and amazing as it was, you guys, it totally murders my sexy.
I don't want Adam watching Sister at all.
I'm like, Choochie, I'm like, Bubbles, it's Choochie, like, Cheetah-licious, like, you know, it just was not, it's like really young.
Jonathan said this is when he and Adrienne concocted a plan where they pretended as if her laptop was stolen. However, the plan allegedly went sideways when the photos actually made their way online, and Adrienne would blame Jonathan for the photo leak. So he went to Disney with his evidence, which apparently proved Adrienne was behind the plan all along. When Disney saw the evidence Jonathan provided, they immediately released Adrienne from her Disney contract, and the Cheetah Girls were removed from the upcoming Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, which at that time was a huge deal. Adrienne, Keely, and Sabrina would finish out the last couple of weeks of the One World tour, traveling date to date to screaming Cheetah Girl fans. But when the tour ended, so did the Cheetah Girls. Through the years, Keely, Sabrina, Adrian, and Raven would go down their own paths, growing in their own careers, getting married and starting families. The Cheetah Girls movies would continue to be played on the Disney Channel for years, constantly creating new generations of fans. As the 10-year reunion approached, talks of a reboot or getting the girls back together briefly emerged, but chances of a reunion seemed slim. There was more drama between the Cheetah Girl members than ever before. Keely and Adrian, who pretty much grew up together and were best friends, no longer appeared to be in each other's lives at all. Adrian would make comments on her talk show The Real about an ex-friend, and it's widely speculated that the comments were about Keely.
I had a best friend for a really long time, one of my childhood best friends, and we're no longer friends. Of course. And it's sad because my mom would always tell me, be careful, Adrian. I'm telling you, there's something there. She's jealous of you, and there's something there. And I would be like, no, Ma, she loves, and like weird things happen, rumors would get spread, and you'd be like, where did this come from? And it would always somehow get back to her.
Wow.
But I would like defend her, and my mom would be like, that girl is not your friend. She's, like a friend of me.
That rift in the Cheetah Girls seemed to be further confirmed when both Adrian and Raven, who are now really great friends, would discuss rebooting the Cheetah Girls. They would both always leave Keely completely out of the conversation.
Last one was 2008, so it's almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Not 30, Lonnie.
Not that bad.
But I think it'd be awesome. And I love the fact that there's kids that are still watching it today, and they think like it's current and new.
What would you want your character to be? Like,
I think they said that we'd manage like the new group,
cool.
and I would love that idea. Maybe each one of us plays a different role. Dorinda's character could be a choreographer.
What are you?
Okay, Dorinda's character could be like a choreographer. Raven could be the songwriter and producer, and like we all can play a different role.
But fans can't get enough. In fact, many are still clamoring for a Cheetah Girls reboot or reunion.
I need to talk to the girls first because we need to curate an answer. This can go so sideways on so many levels. Listen, I'm down with Adrian. Whatever Adrian's down to do, I'm down. I will work with Adrian for the rest of my life. She's awesome sauce. I love everybody in their own ways. You know what I'm saying? It's just, listen, real girl groups have their moments. Imagine the fake one.
The drama between Keely and Adrian seemed to escalate after a 2017 episode of The Real. Adrian brought on former 3LW bandmate Naturi Naughton. Back in the early 2000s when 3LW split up, it was due to Naturi leaving the group. Naturi told Wendy Williams on her old radio show that she was essentially forced out of the group. Naturi said the group's management, aka Keely's mom and sister, mistreated and verbally abused her. But the final straw was when Keely allegedly threw a plate of hot food in Naturi's face. Many years later, Adrian would apologize publicly to Naturi.
I thank God for the time that I got to actually talk to you. A few years back, we had seen each other at an Us Weekly party.
I remember that. It was
years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
And we sat down and we talked everything out, and I was able to apologize to you if ever, there was a lot that went on in that time that now looking back is just like, we were so young and it was crazy.
Yeah.
And that I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, never meant any harm towards you. And that I think you're talented and beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, and we had that moment together privately,
Yeah, no, it was crazy because when, going through what I went through with the group, it wasn't easy. It was a hard time. And everything with being a teenager and being criticized. And I went through a time when I didn't really think I could make it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your apology because it's just humility. And at the end of the day, we have to love and support each other.
I think looking back, a lot of that was fear. There was so much fear put in us just all around that when we look back,
girl,
we're like,
I know. They had me scared. They had you scared. But the truth is we were kids and, the adults in the situation, did what they did. But thank God I'm here.
Keely's sister and manager of 3LW, Teese Williams, was very upset after this episode of The Real aired. She took to Twitter and held nothing back, saying, at Adrian Balion and at Naturi Naughton, lucky for you that Keely Williams is not a petty bitch and not spreading all your dirt. She also confirmed the story that the Cheetah Girls broke up due to Adrian's photo leak. Quote, you know why at the Cheetah Girls ended? Naked pictures of Adrian Balion, and Disney wasn't having any of that. In a response tweet, T even said that Cheetah Girls did 2 movies after Raven left, and the only movie to be released without Raven was One World. So whether or not they actually filmed the 4th movie and had to scrap it will forever remain a mystery. Now, fast forward to 2020, and the Cheetah Girls drama would heat up once again. Keely would go on to Instagram Live to address everything from 3LW to the Cheetah Girls, and no questions were off limits.
What happened in Barcelona? Nothing happened in Barcelona. We had a lot of fun. I drank a lot of kava. I don't think Adrian wants to have live TV with me. Cause, she's gonna have to say, yes, Keely, I did pretend to be your best friend. And now I am not. It's like, you were either lying then or you're lying now. You either were my best friend and now you're just not claiming me, or you were pretending to be my best friend and now you're telling the truth. So that's why I don't think that's gonna happen. But I was so unhappy. And looking back, I guess that could be why a lot of people found me so difficult. It's just because I was really unhappy.
This is where things get very interesting. See, Raven was on IG Live. Keely wants to join the live show where they hash out their differences in front of thousands of fans.
In the interviews that I've seen that I got sent to me, it's like there's a thing. And even you said it in your DMs, that's coming to middle ground. I never really figured we would ever do another Cheetah Girls. It was never in my thought. But I just want to, from my point of view, what's the middle ground? Why didn't you do the 3rd way?
The cliquish way that there was during that movie made me feel excluded from my original teen set. Not that it was strong to begin with, but I felt excluded. And there was someone there, because me, and that's when me and Belinda really started being friends, because we felt ostracized, and we have other things that just led up to that moment that just were weird, personal, outside of business.
That makes sense. I was talking to Sabrina about that, and I was like, I think a lot of it was that we had been touring, and they put us in a group, and so we were this thing, right? And so it was just kind of weird, and I can understand from your standpoint, but from us, we're but she's Raven, it sucks that that's how you felt, and I really wish we could have sat down and talked about it then, because that's so what I've been saying is antithetical to what the Cheetah Girls was about. I can understand what you're trying to say, and I'm not I'm a lot, so I can get it, especially if I felt my back was up against a wall, I'm sure, but I would never try to hurt you on purpose.
Well, I appreciate that, sweetheart, and I release any pain towards you that I have, and I cancel, clear, and delete it.
After almost 15 years after whatever happened in Barcelona, Keely and Raven were finally able to work through their grievances and heal. Raven then attempted to help mend the fence between Adrian and Keely, but that didn't go over so well.
You know what's next in the list?
What?
I'm not the only one.
What are you saying?
You gotta talk to Adrian, dude.
Why do I have to talk to Adrian?
Because you're the firecracker.
No, she didn't come to my dad's funeral or call me when he died. No. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be messy, but I'm being for real with you. No. I'm sorry. I love you. I swear to God. I'm not nope. Come on. You can say what you want about me and how you felt about me, but you can't ever say that I didn't ride for Adrian. You can't say that.
The history that we have for one another is so thick. She knows a part of you that nobody else knows.
Yeah. And that's what's so crazy.
But y'all prideful asses need to calm down, take a pill for a second, and say, I'm pissed at you, but let's talk about it. Just like I said with you, I'm pissed about it, but let's get it out like grown women.
But I'm glad we talked. And honestly, I'm glad it wasn't some fake ass, oh, we're friends now, blah, blah,
No, I still don't know you like that, but yeah. I'm cool with you.
Would you
guys ever get back together and do something with the Cheetah Girls? Because I know fans want it.
It would be an amazing Bubbles and Choo-Chi show. Like
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Bubbles and Choo-Chi forever. We're down.
Always with her. Forever. But that's why we did Raven's Home. I think that there's a wonderful thing to just encapsulate something and let it live. But if there was something that we did together, it would be us and you would be surprised. It would smash.
The Cheetah Girls weren't just another Disney Channel original movie. They were transformed into a real, full-blown girl group. One that started from a book series based on Destiny's Child actually made it on the charts. The Cheetah Girls not only inspired children across the globe, but they changed the Disney Channel landscape forever. If it wasn't for the Cheetah Girls' success, Hannah Montana may have never been made. Stars like Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato wouldn't even be around. The Cheetah Girls proved one major thing to Disney, that everyone loves a hit song written and produced by the Disney Channel, and that if you put the right girl group in the right Juicy Couture tracksuits, the world will rally behind them.